Hey, welcome back to Get Down to Business. And I'm always fascinated by business stories. And we talk a lot about small business, but certainly in the world of marketing and strategy. Organizations, the statistic is that they're spending more than $30 billion annually on strategy creation, and more than 80% of them are failing. So there's no question that many need a plan for execution. So Franklin Covey's best-selling book, The 4 Disciplines of Execution, Achieving Your Wildly Important Goals, second edition was published in is this month, actually, by Simon & Schuster. And I'm thrilled to be joined by one of the co-authors, Jim Huling. Jim, welcome to the program.
Awesome, Shalom. Thank you so much. And by the way, I love the format of your program. This rapid fire really makes you do one of the things we teach in execution, which is focus. So thank you, my friend.
Oh, it's a lot of fun. It's I know in the book you talk about tuning out the noise, cutting through the less important urgencies, and achieving the goals. That's what this show is all about. So, Jim, tell us your story for starters, and then we'll get into some of the tips and the 4 disciplines of execution.
Sure. I have been a part of the Franklin Covey organization for the last 13 years, Shalom, and it's just been a privilege to watch my company and the team I work with, as well as the whole organization, honestly, searching for a way to help people with the things that matter most. And you'll laugh, I think, when I say there's certainly no genius in the fact that one of the topics we thought would help the most people in the biggest way was to get better at execution. In fact, I love the quote you opened with today. It's so true. Everybody's got a plan. And I don't know if you like this quote, but Mike Tyson used to say, everybody has a fight plan until I hit him in the face. And I really think that's what leaders in American and worldwide business are struggling with today. You build a strategy. Maybe you pay some high-flying consultants to help you craft an elegant or sophisticated strategy, and you say, we've done it, we're ready, let's go, and then you walk out of your office door and try to get people to execute on that strategy. And maybe it is a little bit like getting hit in the face. So that's been the topic. For 13 years, we've been focused really on this one thing. What makes a leader on a team, or by the way, Shalom, an individual, great at executing so that in the end, they get more of the things done that really matter?
Absolutely. And again, I'm chatting with Jim Huling, who is one of the co-authors of the 4 Disciplines of Execution. And I know, Jim, you worked on this book with a handful of very, very talented folks. And you are responsible not only, obviously, in the crafting of in the book, but also you are responsible as part of the Franklin Covey organization in teaching that methodology and the delivery worldwide. We don't have time to go into the massive list of organizations that you have taught this practice to, but lots of examples there. And I should mention that business is not a zero defect game over here. Bottom line, you will struggle. You will face challenges, so it will never be perfect. The goal is always at self-improvement, professional improvement, and that is true both in small business and entrepreneurship, as well as in large corporations and organizations. So let's get into those 4 disciplines of execution. Again, that the revised, updated version published this month, which is super exciting. So 4 disciplines. What are the takeaways that our audience, business owners and executives, should put into practice this week?
Awesome, Shalom. Thank you so much. And by the way, not sure about the broadcast date of our conversation, but the book came out yesterday, that second edition. But an interesting thing happened yesterday, just 3 seconds on it. The first edition remained the #1 best-selling book in the world on Amazon under strategy. And the second edition is now its closest competitor after just 2 days of being live on the bookshelf. So we're a lot of things to be excited about. But in a nutshell, these 4 disciplines, they're really simple, really easy to understand. Shalom, they're not easy to do, but they're really easy to understand. #1 is about focus. And I've clearly been around longer than you have. I'm older than you are, but I think we both agree everybody struggles with focus. I mean, we live in a world that's wired for distraction, whether it's the devices we hold or the news that we watch or just the 150 things we feel like we've got to get done every day. So biggest obstacle to get over, discipline 1 helps you do it. Focus. And what that means, honestly, is you have to decide. You have to decide the one or two things that you're going to give your finest energy and effort to. And even if you have 10, 20, 30 other things you're going to get to as much as you can, as often as you can, you've got to be able to say, this one thing, this is the one that really matters so that it gets your best energy. So that's discipline 1, focus on what we call the wildly important. Discipline 2 is about how you execute. So discipline 1 is about what, then discipline 2 is the how part. And this is really the most intriguing part of the 4 disciplines, Shalom. It's the thing people talk about the most. We have this concept that now plays itself out all over the world, that if you can identify the 1 or 2 most impactful behaviors and really hold yourself to a high standard on those, you have a key to actually achieving that goal that you said was most important. So for any outcome you want, you do the very hard work. What are the 1 or 2 human actions that would have the biggest impact on this goal? And instead of trying to do 100 things, you do those 2 things narrowly well. And those 2 things give you for achieving the goal that you chose. Number 3 is creating a compelling scoreboard. Shalom, I think I've been in leadership 44 years. I have a long term as 12 years as CEO of a very large company and now 13 years with Franklin Covey. I think I can say this with credibility. The most overlooked aspect of execution and achievement in all of business is the willingness to keep score in a way that makes people want to play. You know, we tend to say, oh, yeah, we'll make a spreadsheet. We'll have a chart. I've got it here in my notebook somewhere. You know, I can tell you the numbers as of yesterday. Just give me a few minutes, you know. But when you and I are watching a game, like a football game, we're riveted to that scoreboard, aren't we? If we took the scoreboard down, everybody in the stadium would revolt. It's just as important as the game. In fact, for many people, the scoreboard is the game. So discipline 3 is about creating a compelling scoreboard that's not designed by the leaders and handed to a team, but rather is designed by the team itself. So the team can say, hey, this is our board. We made this board, and they update it every week, and it brings an intangible to the execution that seems to be a real X factor. And then last of all, you know, I hope I'm going fast enough. Discipline 4 is about creating a cadence of accountability. Now, if I pause just one moment to say, discipline 1, 2, and 3 are really important. Discipline 4 is the most important. You know, 1, 2, and 3 kind of create a game plan, but discipline 4 is the game. It's the playing of the game. And what it means in essence is that a leader and a team get together every single week, and in a few minutes time, usually about 15 minutes, they make themselves accountable to each other for whether or not they did what they were supposed to do to drive the goal. So Shalom, imagine if you and I were on a team and we're sitting around a table, it's, you know, Friday morning at 8 o'clock, we're only going to be here about 15 minutes. And I would say, hey, Shalom, my commitment for next week is that I got 2 new people on my team and I'm going to get them really trained so that they're onboarded and good to go by the end of the week. Well, 1 week later, we're going to sit around the same table and I have to say out loud to you and everybody else on our team, whether I did it or not. Can you imagine? Like I say, hey, Shalom, last week I committed to train those 2 people, but you know, I just really didn't get to it. What a powerful moment of accountability that is, where it starts to feel personal. You know, it's not just professional. So you put those 4 things together: focus, leverage, engagement, and accountability. Those 4 things, that's the secret sauce of the 4 disciplines.
So important. Again, I've been chatting with Jim Huling, the co-author of the newly re-released, and again, a bestseller, so congratulations on that. My final question, because you've shared so much, is how the 4 disciplines of execution can apply in our personal lives as well, because ultimately, especially in this era of COVID, our personal and professional are so intertwined.
Yeah, I love that. And I'm going to answer you as a husband, a father, a grandfather, an author, an athlete. You know, everybody has got a whole lot of things they feel they need to be paying attention to. And if we try to pay attention to all of them, Shalom, the real truth of our lives is we don't pay attention to any of them. So do the hard thing. Decide for yourself, for the next 6 months, this is my number 1. I can have a number 2, 3, 4, and 5. That's okay. But number 1 is going to get special treatment. Then think about the actions that would drive that goal, make some sort of a scoreboard, put it on the refrigerator, check off the days when you do it, and find a way to make yourself accountable to someone, whether it's your spouse or your partner or a friend. just make that call every week. So I would call you and say, Shalom, listen, I committed to do this and I did it. Build that rhythm of accountability and you can achieve almost anything.
Absolutely, you can. Again, the co-author of the 4 Disciplines of Execution, Achieving Your Wildly Important Goals. It's available on Amazon, published by Simon & Schuster, re-released, and certainly available wherever books are sold. Thank you, Jim Huling from the Franklin Covey organization. Thanks so much for joining us. Come back real soon.
Thanks for having me today, Shalom. Thank you.
Absolutely. We're going to squeeze in a quick break. More small business jobs and entrepreneurship when we return.